Hey Scrappy Friends, welcome back to my channel. Helen here, thanks for joining me. Today's layout is the first one that I did for International Scrapbooking Day. It is this challenge from Jackie Ashton for Hey Little Magpies weekend of challenges. It's a recipe challenge. You will see on the recipe it says acetate. I actually got mixed up and I used vellum instead, but you know, we're just going to pretend I used acetate. It's fine, it's all for fun, right? But before we get to the layout, I'm using 49er Market Vicki Boutin Flower Emporium collection today to scrap photos of Professor Sprout's potting shed from the Warner Brother Harry Potter tour. So yeah, that's what's so that's why I thought Flower Emporium thought it'd go quite well. But before we get to that, if you're not already a subscriber, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what you've enjoyed. If you're not sure what to say, pop an emoji for the sake of engagement. And yeah, that all out of the way, let's get scrappy.
So here we are, just showing you the challenge again. These are the acetate pieces, which are actually vellum, and the JD 3D wood pieces that I'd pulled out. And then I'm just going through the embellishment packs. This is, like I said, Vicki Boutin Flower Emporium from 49th and Market. I've got this idea of a banner across the page with lots of like word ephemera and tags and things hanging down from it. Might have worked better if I printed smaller photos, but I am really happy with how this turned out. I had thought about having frames hanging from the banner as well under the photos, but changed my mind and put the frames back away. I was just having a look in the ephemera packs there for some tags, then remember there is a cut apart sheet in the paper pad, so I've took out the cut apart of tags. I was showing you as well the two sides of the base page of views there. That's from the starters. Yeah, from the starter paper pack. So the starter paper pack and the Staples paper pack are available in open stock, and the paper pad isn't. And I've got all three sets of the papers because they're just so gorgeous. So just cutting the tags out here. So I do just cut, I think it's one strip of them, cutting them apart, trying to decide if I'm going to use the reverse or the front. Do I need to cut the shoulders off? I do decide actually because the rectangular B sides have no like particular pattern to make them tag shape. They're just rectangular tags. It doesn't matter whether I use the A or the B side. If I cut the shoulders off, it then gives me the tag shape whether I use the A or B side, whichever I decide to do. So I decide just in prep to cut it for all of them, whether I'm going to use the A or the B, which I've not decided at this point. Love that mixed media tag effect tag there, but because it's against a neutral background, it doesn't really stand out. You can't really see it. So I go for a green, a blue, and a yellow tag. I do swap the yellow one round so that because I've got a blue top on, it's quite close to the colours in that blue pattern tag. So I swap the yellow and the blue around. This is seam binding from Hey Little Magpie that I'm using to string my banners across, so the tags and the words and what have you that I end up adding. So using this seam binding, and I don't fix the ends down, I just kind of swirl them kind of under the tags, you'll see at the end. Just reaching for my 3D foam now. So I'm popping the two photos, one of me and the one of me sitting, up on foam, and I decide I actually want a little bit of dimension from the page, and I just put foam under the tops of the tags as well. So the photos, the two outside photos are on 3D foam off the tags, and then the top of all three tags are lifted off the page as well. So I'm just coming in with the word strips here. There's already a word tag here and now that I've already strung on there. And then I'm just deciding what I'm doing, that cluster in the bottom corner. I do end up punching, as you can see here, a hole in one of the labels and adding that onto my banner. and stick that day with you word on there as well. Just signing what I'm doing for this cluster at the bottom. Again, vellum. I was supposed to be using acetate, and I don't know why. I did pull some acetate out, and I put the acetate away and kept the vellum out. And I actually meant to use it's acetate is one of the things in the challenge. So we're just going to pretend it says vellum instead. Oops. So yeah, I'm using what I thought I'd do with those little circular pieces is use them as grounding points for my for the JD3D print wood veneer, and little circular pieces that I then stick the wood veneer to, and use the circular pieces as tags. So I punch holes in those circular vellum, not for acetate pieces, and hang them from the banner with then the JD3D print stuck on them. I'm just cutting down here a strip of the pattern paper, so this is waste from another product, leftover bit from another page, I should say, that I've done. And I cut that down to create a little label hanging banner bit to put the word on, and then I've got that second word there on the on that black label, and then I'm cutting another one down here to do as well as a hanging label with the word on from the on the opposite end. Um, so that is pretty much it for what's getting hung on my ribbon there. Just using some pop dots, glue dots to stick the wood veneer down, and yeah, sticking that word strip there on the label. With the Hey Little Magpie International Scrapbooking Day challenges, they are not due until the 18th, so it's like 2 weeks to complete them. So if you've not already had a look at the Hey Little Magpie Facebook group, go check out the challenges. There's 8 challenges over the 2 days of the weekend. And I will link all that in the Facebook in the description below. So back to this now. You can see I keep on pulling things off to add other bits on to my banner, and just the last bit there. I do bring in some stamping as well in a moment. Oh yeah, I'm using turning like my grounding point for my little cluster in the bottom. I'm just making that into another tag, so I've used that same weight off cut scrap of blue there that I've used for the banners on the top. So I just thought with it being a potting shed, I am going to stamp the date on one of those two like plant labels that I've got in that cluster at the bottom. I didn't do it on camera because I can't remember the date, but the date is getting stamped on the grey one. So that's what I'm going to use those for at the bottom. And my journaling, I haven't decided where I'm going to put it yet. It is, I was thinking of sort of putting it under the photo of me sort of coming down, joining the photo of me to that cluster at the bottom. I'm not 100% sure yet. I've not done the journaling yet. I wanted to check the date first of all, and then go back in and finish the journaling after I stamped the date. But here I am coming in with some stamping now. I had meant to stamp off and then stamp onto the background, which is why I pulled that waste piece of paper over, and I just ended up using that as making sure my stamped images are the right way up. I have pulled 4 different stamped images off that LE Studio pack that you saw me use there. I do end up only using 3 of the stamps, 2 of the circular ones and the oval one. There was like a little circular one with the negative of an arrow in it, which I thought I'd use, and I ended up not stamping. I just like, adding this randomly around the page. I do like how that looks. Quite pleased with that. And then I'm just going to get everything stuck down. So start by sticking the photos to their labels, to their tags, and then I just pick the whole thing up. And I'm going to stick the labels down first. I do a second layer of 3D foam at the top of that photo of Mr. Ding, because it's 3D foamed on top of the tag, and then the top of the tag is also 3D foamed away from the page. So the photo at the top needs an extra layer as well. So that's so I did that there. Just pop. I end up sticking that on top of the photo. I do like how that's finished. I just think I've left too much of a gap between the middle and the right hand photo. You'll see what I mean when I finish. So I think possibly my journaling is going to go in there. I'll give a reason for that gap. I might end up adding sort of like another, what's going to look like as another tag coming down off the ribbon, but it's going to be tucked behind that wood veneer heart, so I don't end up having to pull the ribbon back off again. So like just do a little tag with a little bit of journaling that you can slide out from behind that photo to read. I'm thinking is possibly where it's going to go, just to fill that gap. Just using some more of my glue dots because, I've pulled them out once, so I remember they're actually there now. And yeah, we are almost done. Some close-ups at the end. Please stick around, have a look at those, and don't forget to let me know in the comments what you've enjoyed about the video, any feedback. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I do pull out a little tiny piece of chipboard from the chipboard set to lift, sort of fill in that gap behind that wood veneer piece. It's just, I think it says like the or of or something. It's just something I probably wouldn't use as a little piece of chipboard, so I use it as a spacer to hold that wood veneer up. There we go, all done. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, have a great day. Bye bye.